Welcome to Canberra
Metalheads.
Season 1.
The Archives. Alright, let's kick it.
Hello and welcome to Canberra Metalheads. You got Marky, Malphas.
Benphegor.
We joined in the studio today with the guys from Inebriator. So from left to right, we got...
Hi, I'm Ben.
And I would be Ken.
Hey, how you doing? It's good to have you in the studio. It's we've had a few of the bands that have been playing around you guys lately with Clarity of Chaos and things like that. How's it been? Gigging lately in the scene and playing at some of the local venues.
I mean, I suppose most people play at the basement in Belconnen.
Yep.
There's not really anywhere else sort of rocking at the moment, but all those guys that you've had on lately, we've played a lot with.
Yeah.
In the last few years or so, really good guys from Clarity and Black Metal and
yep.
And yeah, it's cool. Everyone gets on, borrows gear. We put. When I do the Trapped Under Ice show, that once annual sort of year, once a year sort of thing, and I always hit those guys up straight away and say, can you play and you can have my cab and it's cool. It's a good vibe with those guys.
Good community.
Everyone's happy to share backline and stuff like that. It makes life easy.
Yeah, right. I heard one of your tracks before. We listened to Havoc from one of your one of your early albums.
Was it 1996? Was it?
No, I think it was 96.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so can you that was one of the original lineups there with that album. What sort of changed since those early days?
I was thinking about this yesterday when we knew we were coming onto the show, and I was trying to think of the differences now and then. I mean, obviously back then you're younger, you're hungry, everything's has to be all or nothing, so to speak, and we were only together I think from 93 to 96. We had a fair few lineup changes in that first sort of, salad days of 6 months of lineup changes. I think I played 3 different instruments. We had Victor, who went on to Reign of Terror. We've had a few other guys until we got a solid sort of lineup. And I don't know. There was a lot more venues. I thought. I mean, there probably is now, but I suppose maybe they were more open to playing heavy music. back then, possibly. You had a lot of the Terrace Bar, the Terminus. You had and a lot of the youth centres were Woden and Civic, and I suppose it was a little bit more readily available to get on to a show sort of thing.
Yeah, Youthies used to be a big thing, not so much.
There was a lot of all ages shows.
Yeah, we've had a couple of bands say that in the past, like the Youthy gigs, and also some of the like we spoke before about Metal for the Brain and things like that, which are a massive draw.
Oh yeah.
It feels like now there's just sort of.
Well, a lot of the venues are closing. Unibar.
Yeah, exactly. Academy, that's it. Yeah.
That was really weird that they sort of tilted to booking some heavier shows, and then it all collapsed.
I was sort of, in a way, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Not cool, but like Cradle of Filth were going to play that, and then it got shut down, so then they played at the basement. So I was like up the front, right next to Danny Filth.
There's not as many venues doing, but I feel like the basement is sort of maybe picked up some of those gigs, but as well, they're more consistent. Like there's something on every week.
Always, even Thursday nights, isn't it?
Yeah, it's starting to branch out to Wednesdays and Thursdays.
In the last few years, they've really taken it and run with it. They've decided that they want to be an entertainment venue, and they spend a lot of money on the joint fixing it up.
And time.
Expansion plans apparently in the works. They're making it bigger, putting their capacity up so they can have bigger bands through there.
It's a great place to play.
And
all the engineers are top quality. The guys, the staff,
everyone who's worked there the whole time I've been playing.
Great to play. It's just, I suppose,
Clem and Tim and
you'd like to play possibly somewhere else.
Damo,
which is, I suppose, cool to get out of Canberra, which we'll be doing
Julian,
very soon.
Don't let me forget to say Julian. He'll yell at me if I don't. He's a great sound guy. More often than not, gets stuck doing us.
No, it's like recently they moved the sound desk into the middle of the room. Actually,
they did actually move it off that wall.
They moved it off the wall.
That must have been a really recent thing.
Yeah,
but it does make sense from a mixing point of view.
It's really not. As soon as you walk in now, you're like, oh, this is that was the last thing to make it feel like an actual live music.
Stags like that too. It's right.
Yeah,
makes more sense from a mixing point. Having it over there, you're getting way more of the, I guess, the right-hand side of the stage
Yep.
from the left. And that was always a bit of a weird issue there, is that it'd be very right-side heavy. So if you had a guitarist on that side, it'd be way louder.
She's bang in the middle now, man.
Yeah.
So
cool.
Yeah, it's looking
I've
good.
been there for a week or so.
Yeah, no, I had a little walk through the next door. They've got all the kitchen fitted out and everything. It's looking good, man.
Yeah, they knocking that
Yeah,
back
it's
wall
coming down.
They
Within.
bought out the Chinese restaurant next door, so there'll be no more noise complaints.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Now everyone's just going to be in the mosh pit with like burgers and snitties in their hand.
Hey, look.
Yes.
Saw a video of a dude
Which
eating
you'll
a can of
probably,
beans in a mosh
when
pit
you guys
recently.
play down in Maru, you'll probably see me in the middle of the crowd with a burger and a schnitzel. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's going to be weird
I
going
wonder
down.
if they'll start having, some of the local guys naming a meal, so you get a reggae burger or something.
The Shags combo. Yeah.
Reggae manages to always seep into some sort of
It's 'cause
conversation we
he's
have.
around.
As long as they don't start serving that meat pizza that he ate at the end of Rocco.
Oh, the pizza.
Yeah.
Oh dear, that was just.
Oh
yeah.
man,
You're lucky nobody got food poisoning from that. Actually, probably sure they did, but they just didn't tell him.
it's cool to see the where the band's going and things like that. You've got some solid roots from back in the day, but also like focusing now on like the current lineup and things like that. Ben, you're saying you've been with the band for what was it, 3 years now, 4 years?
When did I can't even remember? Two and a half.
Yeah, you'd be coming up on
Coming up on
at
3.
least 3.
Yeah, at least 3.
If
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
4, yeah. I think you've been in the band longer than the original drummer.
Fair enough.
Cool.
Well, we started playing again or gigging again on our 20th anniversary, which would have been 2014.
Yep.
Oh right, okay, yeah.
Okay.
So it would have been 2015 then when I joined.
How do you find stepping into a band that has solid roots back in the early days?
The weird thing is, like, I had that CD in the 90s when it came out.
Yeah,
and thought it was like pretty awesome at the time.
Yep.
And
Liar.
no, man, I'm not lying to you at all. Reggae actually got me onto you guys. And then we went from there. It's like later on, it's Ken and Khalil are just top dudes, so it's easy to slot in. And,
Yep.
and we have a lot of similar influences, so that helps. Don't know how else to describe it. It's pretty cruisy environment. It's good.
So have you always been on the drums, man? Or
Pretty much. I played guitar briefly, but I don't think that's really my area of expertise. Neither is drumming, for that matter. But drums, I much prefer to be at the back. It's sort of very cathartic.
same before off mic, a little bit about the dynamic and how you're up in Sydney for a little while, Ken, and things like that. How is it coming back to the Canberra scene after being in Sydney for a little while?
It was, I don't know, there seemed to be a lot more bands.
Yep.
Which, as I said, like even though after Inebriator sort of parted company in 97, something like that, and I think I moved to Sydney in 99.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, we were up there for a good 10 years, almost, sort of thing. And then coming back, there was still a few guys like the guys from Soul Crusher, Baz and Blackie and Garth were still, they were still playing around, and so that was still, in the scene, so to speak. But a few other people had gone past away. I think Four Dead we used to play with, as well.
Yep.
I think they just sort of folded. So yeah, it was kind of almost like starting again.
Yeah.
Apart from the people that have been there forever, like Reggae, that
just keep
don't
going.
stop. Like,
Part of the scenery.
Yeah, he just keeps going. You can't stop that guy.
Yeah.
It was kind of almost like starting again. So it was a bit sort of trepidation trying to. And I was still trying to keep a Sydney band going at the time, and then we did the 20-year anniversary, and then we just didn't stop.
Yeah,
and
cool.
it was fun. And this band has always been fun.
Yep.
It hasn't been mega serious, and we have to do this, we have to do this.
Yeah,
It's like, no, we just need to have some fun.
Yeah, cool.
Which, as you get to my age, is probably the most important thing.
Yeah, well, like you're saying before, some of the people that stay in the scene are the people that are having fun doing it. Like, that's the secret, I think, to doing it for a long time, is to actually enjoy doing it.
It's supposed to be fun, man. If it feels like work, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
I suppose I just meant, when you're young and hungry and you think you can get a record deal and all that.
Oh,
yeah.
Once you give up on that, I'm going to make a living out of playing music, heavy music idea, it's liberating, man. It makes it a little easier. You're not too concerned about going out there and making a quid. You're just doing it for fun, which is what it should be about anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's like when we were talking to Marcus after his gig from Witchco. He's just like, I just go up and have fun. I don't really care. I just go up and have fun.
Yeah. It looks like that's the way that if you've been doing it for a while or if you're having fun doing it, that's the way people look at it. You mentioned before that you were holding the Sydney project as well at the time. What sort of style was that?
That was a band called Rock and Roll Weapon with some awesome guys.
Yep.
All from, so it was almost like a super group of everyone's band imploded or exploded at the same time.
Yep.
And we just sort of got together from some Northside guys like that were in Crankcase and I think Rust. They're still going. Dark Horse, Romano, the guitarist, he was in Dark Horse.
Yep.
Awesome band.
Yeah, they kick ass. Check them out.
Awesome band. Yeah. Check out Dark Horse. Shauno was really good drummer. He was in played for AVO for a little while back in the Toe days and all that.
Okay,
sort of
yeah.
thing. So but he's just Sydney sort of drumming legend. And I was driving to Sydney every 2 weeks, and it was just getting sort of. And then bass player moved to Newcastle, and it all sort of. We never stopped. It still might happen again, but it's just everyone sort of went into their own things for a while, and we started doing what Carl was keen. I've dragged him back out of his
flamenco
acoustic
guitar.
Classical, coma that he was in for 20 years. And, he shook the rust off, and now he's shredding again. And
right.
Like I say, it's all fun, man. It's all fun.
Yeah, that's good to hear. It's cool to hear that, because we've heard this a few times with bands that we've had on the show. People that have been out of the scene for a little bit or been in other projects just come back in and start something and just kick it off where they left up. Like it's. I feel like everyone that's passionate about it will always have that desire to keep it going, like no matter what they're doing.
And as we touched on before, it seems to be a lot more. Maybe it just comes with age, but there's a lot more of a, as Ben said, community now. I mean, as I said, we're coming back in. I felt almost like I was starting again. But guys like from Cockbelch and all the guys that hang out at the base, all you got to do is strike up a conversation, and next minute, you're in a cover band with them. It's everyone's still got that sort of camaraderie and sort of support of local heavy music and stuff like that. I mean, it'd be nice to see maybe more interstate bands come through here, but
that sort of suffered a bit. But I think there was a period there in the 2000s where there wasn't a lot of.
I think it's hard now because it costs you so much money to tour. I mean, it used to cost us $600 to go play in Adelaide.
Yeah, but it's a lot easier.
You get 3 shows, but you'd never cover that $600 car hire. But as we said, we're not in it to make money. But when these days it seems even harder. You don't even get a rider half the time.
You're hard up making money off the door, and of course because you're happier to sleep on the floor or in the car or whatever when you're young. You don't have to be worried about a bad back or anything. But it's and you're sort of doing it for the experience. Like while that's still big part of it, it does make it hard. I mean, Australia being so big, like if you think I'm going to do a show in Sydney, that's a 3.5 hour drive. I'm going to do a show in Melbourne or whatever, or even Wagga or Albury, somewhere regional like that. That's still a same distance but in the opposite direction.
It's a bigger thing.
It's a much bigger thing, and hats off to the bands. Like there's a lot of bands that are touring around, Wartooth and Hidden Intent and King Parrot. Those guys work their backsides off. Yeah, absolutely, work their backsides off, and they're constantly touring. Yeah, and that takes a lot of dedication to get that. Particularly if you're going from North Queensland all the way down to Melbourne, and then you're going across to when we played with Wartooth last year, and they drove down from Brisbane to play one show and then drove back, loaded their gear on the back of a ute and drove down. I mean, that's some hardcore dedication.
Yeah.
There was a few bands who did that for Heathen Fest this year. We had bands from Melbourne. Where else did we have some from?
North of Sydney. That came down. Like the guys from Autopsy came up. They left at 2:00 in the morning to get there in time for their show.
Newcastle.
Wow.
Yeah, guys from Chambers of Insanity came from Newcastle.
Yeah. It's a long. Getting anywhere in Australia.
Yeah.
It's like with bands like Psychroptic coming up from Tassie, they've got a gig coming up at the Basement, and you just see things like bands that play in Australia. It's a given that you need to be good at touring. Like this, you can't just play in one scene. I think the guys from King Parrot you mentioned before, they're not only doing an Australian tour, they're going over to the States and hanging out with Phil Anselmo and things like that.
Yeah, they got him. Phil Anselmo's got him on his label.
Yeah,
that's only a relatively recent development.
Yeah,
since they were doing Hardcore Stench of Pub Trash, I think was their first EP. They've been working their absolute rings out since then. Yeah. And they've never stopped. They just don't. They're relentless.
In the Weapon, we played with them years ago at the Sly Fox.
Yep.
And what's his name, Matt, gave me that
Yeah,
disc.
Yeah.
That's actually worth a bit of coin, though.
Is
It's actually hard to get hold of now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they played after us. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
That was good. That was a cool venue too. Sly Fox, tiny little.
Yeah,
a bit like the boardroom used to be.
Oh,
like
the old boardie, yeah.
Or the Town and Country or something like that.
Yeah. No,
Bawdy
That's
down.
my King Parrot bit.
That's good, man.
But from a
I've
work
still got
ethic
the
point of view.
flyer at home somewhere.
Yeah.
Treasure trove of old Canberra metal stuff.
Yeah.
Back to an old reference to one of our old shows.
Yep.
The only reason why we have jobs is to house our merch.
Yeah.
Just pretty much.
We're
man.
happy to sleep in our cars as long as our merch is right.
Dude, my uniform is like jeans and a black t-shirt, so it's pretty much my whole wardrobe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get away with that. It's like I was talking to Reggae one night about, you know, if you ever won the lotto and stuff. He's just like, dude, if I was a millionaire, I'd still wear a Metallica shirt.
I doubt if he would change at all. He would be the same guy. He would just actually probably, yeah. He'd be
You just see a little
managed
bit
to
more
himself
Reign
and
of
others.
Terror merch.
Yeah, fancy like triple color prints and stuff.
I think the first thing he'd do is buy a brewery, wouldn't he?
Yeah, probably.
Oh man.
Or shares in one, definitely.
Beer and a meat pizza.
Yep.
This has turned into the
The
reggae.
reggae.
The reggae
Let's talk about us. some more.
Reggae.
I don't remember him being in the band. Actually.
No, I don't think he ever has. He's always around.
We spoke earlier about some of the roots of Inebriator and some of the things you've done in the past. And you're saying that since your 20-year anniversary show, it's sort of still been rolling on from then, and it's cool. It's cool to see you guys, you know, playing with some of the local bands, some of the local venues, and putting out some good music and attracting some crowds. How's it been sort of with, you know, obviously Ben joining the band and things like that, with the current lineup? Have you had any sort of sound changes or anything like that, influences, you know?
It's awesome to have Ben. We're almost all the same sort of age, and we all sort of grew up on, you know, the same type of music, or can at least appreciate each other's taste, possibly. Ben's usually into more heavy death metal sort of stuff, and I'm kind of into more of that, the crossover, you know, sort of, Anthraxy.
Yeah. Yep.
I dig all that kind of stuff. Though.
SOD, and we're all kind of, and Carlil's just,
He's a font of thrash knowledge.
Yeah, he'll just listen to everything.
Yeah.
So in that respect, it's been pretty cool, because if you're writing a song and you go, the Benante bit, do the Benante bit, and he knows exactly what we're talking about.
Play the Benante bit.
Yeah. But no, the dynamics pretty good. We have talked about getting another guitarist, and that still could be on the cards.
Yep. So you're a 3-piece at the moment.
Yeah, always have been.
Yep. Do you feel like adding the extra guitarist could influence the sound, make it more depth or anything like that?
I mean, obviously you'd get, you know, a bit more of a dynamic. There's another level of, you know, noise there that you can sort of orchestrate and make louder or quieter, or fill in sort of thing. I suppose as a 3-piece, you always struggle because you haven't got that second guitar. If Carlo, you know, rips into a lead, you're just relying on me to try and cover underneath.
And me for remember how long the leads actually go for.
But no, 3-piece is a lot easier to 3 guys is easy to organise than 4, I suppose. That way.
And just organising musicians in general is like trying to stuff cats in a bag.
But no, I suppose when I'm writing songs, there's always that other guitar there as well. So I don't think it'd be too foreign. It'd just be trying
It'd be different, adding an extra personality to the mix as well.
I mean, you don't want 2 guitars doing the exact same thing. Otherwise, you might as well not bother. So it'd be cool, it'd be challenging, it'd be fun, but we'll just see how it goes. We might be just 2 set in our ways with 3 of us. So we'll see.
See how it plays out.
Yeah.
Cool. So you mentioned before you do the writing of the stuff. Has it always been like that? Have you had sort of any influence from other members with the writing process?
I mean, the older I've got, the more you sort of realise that it's not your show. You need to listen to everyone else, and everyone's, you know, throws in their 2 cents and their bits and pieces. And it's been, this second time around, has been a lot more even. Carlil's come up with some really cool stuff when we've written the 3 or 4 new songs that we've now got since we've
got probably
started again, and it's been good because he's had everyone's had years of, I suppose, more experience and listening and to different styles of music, and there's a lot more going on now.
Yep.
We've got a heap of shit that we've sort of half done that we need to actually pull our collective fingers out and actually finish.
Yeah. We've been talking about recording another EP over the last year or so, but I mean, and that's where maybe adding another member might put a spanner in that.
Yep.
We'll see how we go.
Yeah,
We're also trying.
We're trying to be positive, look to the future, and
Yeah, I'm going to try and tee up some T-shirts and other kind of merch, maybe get some patches and stuff done sooner rather than later.
Yeah, that'd be rad. We always love to see some products and stuff like that coming out, and we're always happy to push them on the show as well.
it's a lot easier to do these days too. I've
Yeah,
noticed
yeah.
that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been sort of putting the feelers out, trying to get a few quotes on shirts and stuff, and
I just
like,
say-
I already know who I'm going to get the patches done through. So
Yep.
Because that was the bucket list. I wanted to do a 7-inch. I haven't done one.
yeah, that'd be fun.
yet.
Yeah. That'd be cool too. Yeah, it adds that extra level of dynamic to the sound having the
And
7-inch.
possibly, do a split, do an EP, do a split with someone in a different city is always good. That way you can do, your launch show here, your launch show up there, maybe you play somewhere in between.
That
Yeah.
sounds like a lot of fun. We
And,
should sort of look at doing that.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do a split 7-inch, so
Yeah.
we'll see. There was talk of doing one with Cockbelch, but I don't know if that'll happen.
They like yourself played on the first Heathen Fest, so you obviously you've played with them on that gig. Have you played with them any other?
Oh, we played with them a bunch.
Yeah. They're a cool bunch of dudes, man. Like, it adds a extra level of feel to it when you see Shane jumping around in his bloody
dragging Glory Joel out of his house.
Yeah. It's
Well, I mean that Heathen Fest bill was cool, like
Yeah, man,
that
that was
first
awesome.
one, because
Sorry.
it's
You're
good to have an eclectic bill. Not all usually everything's heavy, but it's nice to see a few different genres sort of represented.
That's right.
Because no one wants to go there and just watch the same band
type over and over. Yeah.
And I've always hated that. It used to be like that. That's one thing I have noticed, that it seems to be there's more diverse bands on each sort of bill these days.
Yeah, it's cool. Like back in the olden days, we used to get a lot of mixed bills where you get punk bands playing with metal bands, and you get a lot of different stuff. And then later on, it became
it was all
very
sort of one-sided.
it was like all death metal bands that are all 240 BPM grind, and then the gig is like, cool if you're into that, but if you're not into that, you're not going to go to the show. So the crowd sort of became very clicked up, and it sort of
and that's what sucked there for a while.
Yeah.
And these days it seems to be
it's a bit more
looser. Everyone sort of jump. Yeah, no one hesitates to. Oh no, we can't put a hardcore band on a death metal night. Like
Yeah.
that.
But there's something to be said for that. Like if you're a sort of thrash and roll band like us, and we're playing with death metal bands, and we stand out like a sore thumb, and that's awesome, because people will go, hey, I remember that band because they were on this bill with XYZ. You know what I mean? It's cool for us to do that, but it's also good. You pull a different crowd if you play with a different group of bands.
Well, you would generally get more people through the door anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you get more people who turn up, and then it's a different, and they get exposed to different types of stuff. So they might come along to your show and your next show that they might not have known about if they hadn't.
Yeah,
If you hadn't
exactly.
played with a different group of people. So it's
Yeah,
cool.
and like we've spoken to bands in the past, and we've basically said that the other thing is, now that obviously we were saying before, the Canberra community is becoming very mixed. Like, you'll have someone that used to be in a thrash band now in like a black metal band or death metal, crossing over with hardcore or something like that. The dynamic of the sound is changing, so then this band might now be able to work with that band. So it seems like now that it's been going for long enough that everything's become so integrated that sounds are sounding more and more like they could match, or they could be completely different.
Well, there's probably so many subgenres of all these different,
Oh, yeah.
genres
Yeah,
of music and metal these days that sort of does your head in. But maybe it's now just
Yeah, the lines
big,
are sort of blurred.
it's
a bit
just
more.
it's heavy music.
Yeah.
And we like it,
Yeah,
That's it. Yeah.
it's good. It's good that you can go down to a venue and just sort of pay your money and get a heavy show, and it might be different every week, but you're still getting like something you're gonna like. And like you said, you might not be there to see a band. You'll be there to see another band, but you'll be like, oh yeah, I didn't know
They
that
were
band,
cool.
but
Yeah,
they were cool.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why I like these like festival all sorts and stuff that Shags is putting on. It's cool to have such a cool sort of mix of bands.
Yeah, exactly.
Festival 15 is cool as well when they put that on at the base. So that was a hell of a lot of fun when we did that.
Oh, yeah, forgot about that one. Yeah, Mikey.
Yeah, Mikey chucks it
He's
on.
He's doing a Festival 2020.
But those gigs are cool. Like 15, you turned up. It wasn't a set order. It was just like a bunch of random bands that got together, drew your set time out of a hat.
Yeah.
And then you go and you do 15 minutes. 15 minutes is nothing. Like you by the time you...
5 songs, I think.
Did we get 5 songs in? I thought
so.
Really? In 15 minutes?
Yeah, so there was
I know we were playing fast. I didn't realize we were playing that fast.
I know that... I know that when like we're talking off mic about the SOD stuff, they did an entire album in 15 minutes. Like,
well, yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we were talking earlier about the Slayer cover night as well coming up. You guys are on that bill.
Yeah, the Giants of Metal.
Giants of Metal.
Yeah, that should be cool.
Yeah.
Us and Kim from Black Mountain.
Yeah, cool. So, obviously you're on drums. Kim's who's doing the vocals? You're doing the vocals, Ken?
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's an interesting one. And it's like we're on the subject of Slayer. Like I was reading recently that when they did Rain and Blood, it's like 28 minutes, and apparently when they first did the first pass of it, it was like 34 minutes.
Yeah,
and
right.
they said to Dave, play it faster, and then it's like he shaved 6 minutes off the length of the album, which is which is insane when you think about it.
Yeah.
There's like the 10 or 11 tracks, and he's managed to shave that much time out of each
Yeah,
song.
yeah. Just by playing so much faster.
Yeah, and that's not an easy. If you listen to that album front to back, that's a marathon.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah,
It's the reason why it was sort of, as people say when you're talking about albums, that's their Rain and Blood, because it's literally is. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the
No,
peak.
it's looking to be a pretty cool show. There's a lot
Oh,
of
yeah,
fun.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
It's tangent about Slayer. So.
no, I mean, I think it was Carl was the one that put me onto Slow.
Really?
Yeah, He lent me Show No Mercy and
right.
Show No Mercy and Live
Undead.
on
Yeah,
vinyl.
yeah, yep.
And I took it home, and it was just year 9 in high school, and just
Yeah, yeah.
and then I remember buying South of Heaven when it came out.
Yep.
It was like- and then that just exploded, and everyone had the Slayer shirts, and it was
Yeah.
love Slayer forever. So it's going to be fun. Like I think we did a Slayer cover the last time Inebriator played.
Yep.
Which sort of in preparation for this cover night, and that was awesome. So much fun.
I think but sort of we got asked to do this, and it was sort of like, oh yeah, cool, because we were planning on doing it much later in the year, and then Shakes hit us up and going, oh, it's in August. I'm like, oh, okay, we better get organised then. Yeah, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, cool. So you got the Slay gig coming up in August. You got the date as well?
The 10th.
The 10th of August?
Friday the 10th, Giants of Metal 2 at the Baso.
Yeah, I'm keen to see that. It's also good to see that Lukey's putting on a gig so soon after Heathen Fest as well.
Yep.
Like, and also this seems to be a lot more of a sort of specific gig. Heathen Fest is it is more of a music festival.
Yeah.
With it's got all the traits of a music festival in the early stages. It's just one stage, multiple bands, starts earlier in the day.
Yeah, we had heaps of fun playing that the first time.
Exactly.
Was it good? We added, and it goes on for we starts at 5 and finishes at 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
it punches through.
Because us being the psychos we are, went down there and interviewed every band before the show. So we started at 12:30.
Wow, that's a good effort, man.
It's a good venue though. I have heard they do dance parties.
Yeah, they
They do
do
everything down there.
Yeah, they do some what is it, Bass Front, which is like a DJ thing, and that place gets full on. Luke was saying that they employ a dude on those nights just to make vodka Red Bulls from the start to the end. And by the time he finishes making them, they're all gone. He's got to start again.
It's a cool venue, and it's cool that there's somewhere to go down onto the coast and play heavier music, because there's a taste for it, obviously. The South Coast Metalheads and you guys are all coming from down there, so
it's such a hospitable place as
well.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
Coming from touring back in the day in the hardcore band, we actually go down the coast and we get a hotel room. And cheap drinks. It's a great sign me up. I'll play every year. It's such a cool vibe. Everyone,
I remember, after the Heathen Fest, the owner of the joint was hanging out with us, and
exactly.
He was a really cool dude.
Yeah,
it was
he's
just the whole vibe was just sort of really, really cool. It's nice that there are venues out there that'll do that, and there's a few other venues around the town around the place that are pretty cool. Like there's like I think at the Townie in Wagga.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like where they do Dime Day there, and that's a pretty cool venue as well. There's a few others.
We're
around.
doing that too, aren't we?
Oh, doing the Shag's doing a Pantera thing at the end of the year, and I think he's asked us to do that in support of Pantera, because obviously Vinny kicking off and all that sort of stuff. So
So I think we're going to reprise the Slayer set again.
yeah, I think we'll do a different set. See how we go. We've got more time to prepare this time, so it'll be
Yeah, cool.
interesting to see how that goes.
Closing up, we've got you guys have got the Slayer gig. Is there any? You said you're working on potentially putting out an EP at some point as well. How's that? What sort of things is going on there? Sort of.
Probably written, I don't know, 3 maybe new songs sort of since we came back in 14. And there's a lot more stuff on 4 tracks and computers between us all respectively that we've worked on bits and pieces.
Whole bunch of like bits,
4 like half songs that just need, but life gets in the way.
And also your gigs usually take preference over like writing.
When you got limited time, you sort of we've got a gig coming up, we better prepare for
for
that.
that.
So we've sort of got. I think our next actual Inebriator show is on the 16th of November.
Outside of the Hidden Intent show.
Where's that at?
Yeah, at the base.
At the basement.
Okay, cool. Yep.
So no bills sort of lined up yet for that, but
It'd just be you guys and then your cover bands as well, so you have your own Slayer
I
cover.
mean, we were joking about it the other day. It's just to get like a bunch of Canberra bands to cover themselves and say, look, it's a Canberra tribute show. It'll be like Inebriator playing the songs of Inebriator. Dumb stuff.
I
like
thought
that.
you meant like us doing Cockbelch and vice versa.
That's what I thought you were talking about too.
That would be pretty funny, actually. It'd be funny to see Canberra bands cover other Canberra bands. I think
Black
there's
Mountain
something
doing
in that. I think we should probably.
I think so. Well, you've seen the Inhuman Remnants, Black Mountain and Cockbelch did that compilation thing. The Inhuman Cock Mountain.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's the best name for a band.
Oh, man. So that's how that goes. But no, it's
The
good.
Remnants boys are fun.
It's great. I think we've had Jane Nathan on the show twice. Yeah, those, and also not just their the band, but also Eschatonic Records. Are doing some cool stuff for the scene as well. So
JJ's still doing. I haven't talked to him about it for a while, but he seems to be pushing that a bit more these days, which is good.
They've had a couple new bands sign up, and they're also doing Black Mountain's EP as well. So
really?
Yeah, so they're recording that, and it's getting mastered somewhere else. So
cool. I wasn't sure that they actually finished doing that, but
it's pretty much on the wraps.
It's pretty much all recorded. It's just in the point of getting mixed and mastered now. So
I think
soon enough they'll have something.
Yeah.
Clarity been working on something.
Yeah, Clarity,
as well.
but their gear, their album's done or is due to be.
Yeah,
Or they're recording it soon.
They were saying that they're really pushing now because they've sort of established very quickly a solid track list and like some pretty solid gigs. They're at the point now where people are asking for some products,
something tangible.
Yeah, I think they played their first show was on one of our trap gigs. Trapped on
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
They're saying their first gig was the Trap on Dice one. And they said that apparently in the lead up to that they were described as the most anticipated band of the year. So they were like, oh,
yeah, there's a whole bunch of dudes from different bands in there, so it's pretty cool that it's working out.
It was a few guys I think that hadn't been in bands.
Yeah, I don't think
before as
Toby had been in a band.
Yeah.
Like for a while or at all, really.
Yeah.
No, Jamie was just hyping it up. He was.
He's
Jamie's good at that though.
Yeah.
He's good. Yeah, he's we had him on first with Knights of the Spatchcock and like
Jamie.
He's a good dude, and he said, "I've got this new band together. Do you want to put them? Can we get on Trapped?" I'm like, "Yeah, for sure." I'm
man.
Always keen to put on a new band or someone I haven't seen or heard,
especially when they show how keen they are, man.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
And they're sort of using their experiences from their previous bands to get established so quickly. I mean, you got Chris on bass, formerly Reign of Terror. He, they said that he's becoming quite the front man now. Like he's really getting up in front of the stage.
I saw some pretty cool posing photos. So I'll agree with that.
Yeah,
he seems to be enjoying it a bit more and
he's
pulling
got
out the rocks.
that gargantuan
only
him can pull that bass off.
Massive big old Warwick bass.
Gigantic pointy thing. Yeah.
But cool. We'll wrap it up now. But it's been great chatting to you guys. Good to have you in the studio. And
thanks for having us on.
Mate, we're looking forward to seeing you guys down at Maria.
I'm so keen.
Also,
Yeah, it'd be fun.
you know, other things coming up as well at the basement with you know, your Slayer stuff and also your next Inebriator gig.
Yeah, we've got a, you know, they've got that, and then we've got a bit of time to ourselves to prepare for some other shit. Well, no doubt we'll have more stuff going on.
Cool.
And happy to come back. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we'd definitely love to have you.
Mate,
come back.
love to have you back. Soon as you know, if you ever want to come on and spin the EP once you get that under wraps, man, we'd be happy to have you on. Even,
Yeah, for sure, mate. That'd be awesome.
Even before that, you know, we're always keen to have you guys. We can get some good banter going. Hi, I'm Marky.
And I'm Ben.
And we're the Metalhead Men.
Well, we're Ken and Ben from Inebriator, and you're listening to Canberra Metalheads!
Bam!